Hey everyone, Jamie Meloni, your host of That Business Show 2.0, where we look to inspire entrepreneurship each and every program by talking to accomplished business professionals, startup businesses, people from all areas of business. So whether it's an established business or a startup business, we want to talk to them and we want to inspire you to step outside of the box and start your own business as well. You can find us here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on TampaBayRadio.com and on demands on iTunes, as well as on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTubeChannel.com. I'm with Angel Santos today. She's a business strategist and productivity coach with Grow My Brand Business Coaching. You can learn more about her throughout the discussion at growmybrand.org. So Angel, welcome into the program this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on this show.
Absolutely. And so we talked a number of times about the importance of branding on a program. And so many business owners start their own business and they're eager to go to work and they forget about branding. And so let's start with the new business owner who has just established themselves. They've just gotten set up. Where should they start with regard to a brand?
It's exactly where they should start. So like you said, so many new business owners, they go to Vistaprint or Office Depot for their new business cards. They go to a friend or a tech guy they know and throw up a website and they feel like they have arrived. And then they're looking for any customers that they can take because they didn't stop to first establish the brand. The brand is the company, it's your identity, it's who you are. And it also makes clear who you will attract. So if you take time in the very beginning to define and get clarity on your brand, then you will naturally attract the ideal clients and customers that you want to work with.
So where does the brand start? I would say the brand starts in what you give the company name, and probably at the same time, you probably want to make sure that URL or some derivative of that URL is available. How would you advise with regard to company name and a website to start?
You know, I would say, okay, I'll just give you fair warning. I'm a little controversial, okay?
Hey, we like that. That's fine.
Because I have seen so many entrepreneurs and new business owners spend months and years agonizing over the right name and thinking, well, I don't want to spend money on a wrong domain. What's important as a new business owner is making money. And so I would say, think about what your brand stands for. Think about what service you provide to the customer. And when it comes to a brand name, make it clear. Don't go for cute or clever. Clear is always better. Don't spend too much time and get stuck on a name. It is important, but it can change and evolve. That is okay. It's more important for you to go get customers.
Okay, so the branding, as you're talking about, is more about the customer experience than basically the wrapper on the container. Am I picking up that right?
Right. Branding, in my opinion, that's more the visual identity, the name, the logo, the colors. Those are characteristics that visually represent the brand, but the brand is your company and what it's about.
Okay, so let's talk about your own brand, Grow My Brand. Let's use you as an example. When you decided, first off, is this your first entrepreneurial path or journey? Did you have a company before this?
I did have a company before this. It was a nonprofit.
Okay, so tell me about your own experience with branding the nonprofit and then what you learned from that and how you carried that into your company, Grow My Brand Business Coaching.
Sure. So my first company was called More Local Media. It was a nonprofit that was geared toward helping students of any age from age 2 to 93 find a career in media and media production. I had a lot of fun. I did not have a lot of business sense. I had a lot of marketing knowledge and project management knowledge, but not a lot of business sense. So I spent 3 years making a total of $500.
Wow.
Exactly. And for someone who would say, well, that's okay because it was a nonprofit, then you honestly don't understand what a nonprofit is. The only difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit is the way the revenue or the income that's perceived is used. So basically, I was failing as a nonprofit director and business owner because I had just created an expensive hobby because I thought brand was more about the name, the logo, the website, and my horrible business cards versus actually creating a company and making money.
Now, you look very young. You look like you're still in college on my end here. So when did you start the nonprofit? While you were in college?
No, I started it after I graduated.
Okay.
A year after I graduated, I started the nonprofit. Now, I've been working since 2004.
Okay, and then so how long did the nonprofit last before you went into Grow My Brand business coaching?
It lasted about 4 years. In 2014, I went to a conference and heard a brand coach talk about business, and I had so many revelations. It literally changed my life because she showed me in her 3-day event everything that I was doing wrong in my business, and that I wasn't a business owner, I was a hobby owner. And it was a very expensive hobby. And that's how I transitioned into business coaching, because as I started doing the things that I needed to do to fix my More Local Media company, I really just fell in love with the business process, the process of making money and getting customers and establishing your brand. And so I started sharing with other people that I knew, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And it just evolved into me leaving More Local Media and starting Grow My Brand.
Okay, and you talk about this event that you went to. What were then some of those takeaways? What were some of those aha moments that you had that you then rolled into this new business that put you on the path to a more structured and profitable business?
Sure. So one of the first takeaways I had is when you meet people and you talk about your business, don't tell them the how. They don't know you yet, so they really don't care about the history and every details and why you're so passionate about the business. Just tell them what you do. I think so many new business owners, we're so excited about us and our story and our brand, and we don't realize if we haven't formed a relationship with people, they don't care. They don't know us yet, and that's okay, but it is something to be aware of. So that was really big for me because it was part of why I failed as a nonprofit owner. When I would go to get a donor or a sponsorship, I would explain the how because I thought the idea of the nonprofit was so fascinating. I never told them the what.
Okay, so also, are you getting at the why of why you do things versus the know-how of doing things? The why, is that what you're trying to drive home right there?
No, honestly, I'm just saying, so like if you said, well, tell me about More Local Media, I would give you the why. I would tell you the backstory of why I started it and how I was on a mission to help people and students who felt like they couldn't break into the media industry, break in. And people, they didn't know me, so they didn't care. So it was better to just say, oh, I provide low-cost media training to high school and college students.
Okay.
And they showed interest, go from there or get to know them. Don't just spill 3 to 10 minutes of my why when they don't know me, and then they just walk away confused.
All right. What was another takeaway then from that you've now turned into a more profitable use of your time?
Sure. You are your brand. Well, there's twofold. So one of the other biggest takeaways was that you are your brand. So again, brand is not the logo, it's not the colors, it's who you are and how extensions of you reflect your company, because it always does. So that was one of the biggest things for me. Because it showed me that I had to be consistent as an entrepreneur. I couldn't take 2 weeks off because I was sick or tired or just wanted a vacation. That when you're your brand, if you go to a restaurant and the food tastes different, you're less likely to go because they're not being consistent. So you have to maintain the same level of service and quality in your brand. That was the other big takeaway for me, because I had been very inconsistent as being a nonprofit business owner. I didn't have any overhead. I didn't have a boss. I just kind of did what I wanted and lacked discipline.
Right. How quickly after you began to implement this new change in mindset did you see a return on your investment versus the way that you had operated your nonprofits?
Within 3 months. So basically what I walked away, along with those two takeaways, I walked away with the knowledge that should have seemed obvious, that businesses exist to make money. My focus had not been making money before, and I left with a full funnel of ways that I could start right then making money. And within 3 months, I had made 400% in 3 months of what I had made in the first 3 years of my business.
Wow, congratulations. So let's talk a little bit more about what Grow My Brand is. Tell the audience a little about what your services are and what you can do to help people.
Sure. We are a full service business consulting firm. So we work with women entrepreneurs primarily in the service or skill-based industry to help them build 5- and 6-figure businesses, whether they're starting from the idea phase or if they're already in business and just not seeing the consistent cash flow that they want to month to month.
And how long have you been doing the business coaching now?
Since 2015.
2015, and so she's a very young lady, and so I see her going a lot of great places here. She has a great spirit and a great brand. She is a branding expert, and if you can build that brand properly, you can become profitable. Got to take a break here, but we got another segment with Angel when we come back from the break. We're going to dig deeper into what it means to grow your brand, and people that know this show well know that I do a lot of marketing, a lot of branding around the program, and people that are in the Tampa Bay business community know that business show brand very well. And so it's all about being seen, getting your message out there, and ultimately providing value to the people that you serve. If you're not providing value, then you're basically working as a hobby, so to speak. And so that's fine if that's what you want to do, but if you want to make money at it, you got to provide value to your customers. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. online at tampabayradio.com. All shows available on demand over on iTunes, and also find us on YouTube. Simply go to that YouTube channel, and please subscribe to the channel, help that grow. As many of y'all know, we're recently converting over to the online podcasting world, coming off of terrestrial radio after 3.5 years on radio. You're listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hey everyone, Jamie Meloni back here on That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. A reminder, if you're a business owner in the Tampa Bay business community, we'd like to invite you out to our next main event being held on April 5th over at the Center Club from 5 to 7:30. We'll be speaking with Patrick Riddell, founder of the Mini Donut Factory, an explosive brand growing out of the Tampa Bay region. 2 locations with a third already in negotiations, lines around the door, and a great brand in South Tampa. And so you're going to hear his story. He's going to talk about this relationship struggles that he and his wife had in opening the store, talk about his real estate investing background, and also his business in the domain business also. So come over to the event. If you're a TBO member, it is free. If you would like to attend and have never attended one of our events, you can get into the event free of charge if you send me an email and mention the podcast, jamie@tampabayradio.com. And if you are a ticket buyers to the event is $49. Tickets available over at tbbo.org. In talking with Angel Santos, business strategist and productivity coach of Grow My Brand Business Coaching. Learn more about her, growmybrand.org. And Angel, you're out of the Houston area, correct?
I am.
So we here are in Tampa Bay, but tell us a little bit about Houston. Are you born and raised in Houston? Tell me a little bit about your background.
Yes, I was born in Houston. I'm an Aggie girl, so I spent about 5 years in the College Station, Bryant area. And then I returned to Houston after graduation because I had a job lined up at PBS at the time.
I've had a few friends from college venture over to Houston. They said it's a vibrant, great community. I myself have never visited it. What's the business environment like in Houston?
Oh, it's great. It's booming. Houston has everything. We have farm areas. We have industry. We have everything you can think of. It's a great mix, and there are just so many opportunities in Texas and in the Houston area. We have over 10 of the top Fortune 500 companies that have their headquarters in our downtown and Woodlands area. So we're pretty big on business here.
Well, I have to get over there and check it out. I hear a lot of great things about Houston. Here in Tampa, it's a great entrepreneurial community. A lot of tech companies are starting up in the area. A lot of innovation. It's one of the reasons why I started this program. I saw a rise in entrepreneurism, and I wanted to be on the front lines of it, talking with different business owners each and every morning here on That Business Show. Angel, you mentioned during the break that you were hosting a webinar. Tell the audience about that.
Sure. So this Friday at 12 p.m., I'm hosting a webinar called How to Build a Website in 1 Hour. It's geared really, I'm all about entrepreneurs taking action, not letting things get you stuck. And so I've been hearing a lot of people ask me, well, how to do a website and how do I do this? And I really like to take away the excuse. So for people who have an hour to share, you'll walk away with a one-page website that serves the customer base that you have.
One page. I myself am like a detail-oriented content person. Now you tell me one page, I'm putting a lot of pages. How can a business owner be effective with just a one-page website?
Well, with the one page, we'll have an opt-in, some contact information, maybe a short link to an order form. So just the basics for clients to at least find them. If they want more, then they will certainly have the tools to add that. However, we won't have time to do that in 1 hour.
I say that a lot because my original websites were many pages, lots of content, but as I study more and more online marketers, people with online businesses, they have just one page. They have their lead funnels, which draw you in with a free product, come here, fill out the form, the lead capture tries to sell you into something else with a goal to sell you into their program. That's the typical model that works, and that's really what drives business with a lot of online marketers. Now, in the coaching business, I know in Tampa, it's a very crowded field, a lot of consultants, a lot of coaches, both business and in life. First off, how is it in the Houston market, and how do you differentiate yourself from the others in your market?
Sure, it's the same. My coach does a lot of business in Houston, although she's based in Louisiana. So it's so funny because I always think when I'm meeting people, do I refer myself or do I refer my coach who I honestly believe in? So there's definitely a lot of coaches in the Houston area, and there are people obviously who are famous coaches as well. I always give the example, as you can tell, we're in Texas, so we like to eat. So I use restaurants in a lot of my examples.
Right.
There's Chick-fil-A, and then there's Taco Bell, and then there's Whataburger, and then there's Texas de Brazil. So there are all these different restaurants, and just because one exists doesn't mean the other one customer base is affected. And I'm the same way, because I believe when you take time to define your brand and push your message, even if we're doing the same thing, because we're two different people, we're going to do it different ways. And so I strongly believe if I say authentic and ethical, then the right people who are meant to work with me, that's who I'll attract. And then, as I tell people, even in my past one-day conference, if I annoy you, because I'm a fairly bubbly person, right? So I'm not for everyone. Some people I annoy, that means I'm not for you, and I'm okay with that.
And your niche, you said female entrepreneur. Tell me about who you work with again.
Sure, women entrepreneurs who own skill or service-based businesses.
Okay. Now, a lot of people struggle with making those first sales. And so you went from a nonprofit, were inspired by a coach at a seminar, went into the coaching business. How did you go about making those first sales for yourself?
I reached out to people first who had asked me, I know you do this. Can you do this for me? And I sent them a price. I had spent those first 3 years basically pushing away any opportunities to make money. First, I thought people wouldn't pay because they didn't know me, and I thought I needed to build a portfolio. And then I thought, well, I won't charge the people that I'm doing the work for. I'll get sponsors and donors. I just made excuses on selling. And I spent a year after I went to that seminar just learning how to sell. But within that first 3 months, I took the tools she told us to do. I created a freebie, and I reached out to a few people who had expressed interest in me doing some work for them. And I cleared $1,250 within the first 3 months just from one client.
Wow. And what was the prize or the freebie that you gave people? Because like I was saying earlier, that's how you draw people in. That's how you capture emails. With a lot of online marketing, you got to have something free. If you immediately go for the big sell, you're probably not going to get too many clicks to your site. What was that prize? What were you offering?
Actually, ironically enough, it was how to use video as a part of your marketing strategy.
Okay, and it was a tutorial on that you had designed for yourself. What was it, a 20-minute, 30-minute video? How did it work?
It was a quick 6-page PDF.
Oh, it was a PDF, so it wasn't even a video. You sent them a PDF, and so that drew people in. So I talk about that a lot in the program. You got to have some type of free product to draw people in a 6-page PDF. Everybody's an expert in something out there in their business. So make sure that you have that free offer, whether it's a video, an audio, a PDF, a report. Get people to your site through that free product. And right there, you see an excellent example of it. What about credibility? You're a young, new coach. I would think that a lot of people would say, oh, if I want to coach, they need to be aged and more experienced in life. How do you overcome those obstacles, or do you even get those obstacles?
I do. I usually know fairly early on in a conversation if someone starts asking about certification, or maybe they want to know how many years I've been in business, and I answer obviously very honestly. And again, I'm not for everyone. I recently, as I mentioned earlier, I had a one-day conference, and it was very exclusive. It was about 20 women there, and I made it very clear what I was going to offer, the strategies that I was going to talk about, and that I would invite them to work with me. And I told them my story. So I'm fairly young, depending on how you look at age. I'm 29.
You're what, 29?
29. So I've been in business on my own for about 9 years. And I have learned a lot. I spent, a lot of time learning the hard way what not to do. And then I spent a lot of time and money investing in learning what to do. And all I do is share the same strategies that I've learned and how to get you to making money as soon as possible, because it's what I've learned and what I've lived. So I feel like I can invite people to work with me very boldly because I live it. I'm not just giving them advice and strategies. I'm doing them, and it's what I've done. And
you mentioned that you went through a number of mistakes to land at where you're at now. Looking back, if you could go back and tell your younger self what to do or what not to do, what's some of the advice that you would give your younger self?
If what you're doing in 3 months is not making you any money, change it.
That simple, just 3 months. Then just change it. There you go, right there. 3 months is the time frame. If you're not making any money, you want to change that. Talk to us a little bit about some partnerships or relationships that you have with other coaches in the business. Does that benefit people in this line of work?
Yes, definitely. I feel like some people sometimes can get intimidated with working or building relationships with other people in their field. But I always tell people, when you meet someone at a networking event, they're either a potential customer, a potential friend, or a colleague. And colleagues are very important. I partner a lot with lunches that we do in the area and lunch and learns. And I feel like we should all support each other because there's enough business to go around.
And what would you say is the number one habit that you have or personality trait that makes you successful in entrepreneurship or as an entrepreneur and your own boss?
I'm very faith-based, and I believe that with God, all things are possible. So it creates this like optimistic persistence that makes me a little dangerous.
All right. Well, good discussion. Angel Santos, business strategist and productivity coach with Grow My Brand Business Coaching. Thank you so much. A great discussion, and we wish you the best of luck in Houston.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And you can learn more about her at growmybrand.org. Again, growmybrand.org. And you can also find us here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. online at tampabayradio.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, and also high definition video available on our YouTube channel. Simply go to thatyoutubechannel.com. And again, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0 with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Jamie Meloni, your host of the all-new That Business Show 2.0, where we talk with different business owners, entrepreneurs, political and community leaders each and every morning, aiming to inspire you to step outside of the box and start on a path of entrepreneurism as well. We're based here in Tampa Bay, but wherever it is that you're listening to us, we thank you for being a listener or a viewer. We're on here each and every morning via live video stream, thanks to Tampa Bay Multimedia, and you also find us on demand over on iTunes as well as on YouTube. Just go to thatyoutubechannel.com, subscribe to us on the channel, and you can see all the shows in high definition on demand. And we want to hear your story too. So wherever it is that you are in the country or across the globe, you can come into the program via Zoom or the phone lines. If you're in the Tampa Bay market, you can come here in studio. We'd love to hear your story of entrepreneurism. So head over to tbsinterview.com and you can fill out our request form and find out about how to come onto the program. The show been on to over 3 years now and has talked with thousands of different entrepreneurs, and we'd love to share your story with our audience as well. Learn more about us also tampabayradio.com. Our guest for today's program is Sasha Legault. She's the founder of Sasha Talks, and you can learn more about her at that website, sashatalks.com. And she's a business and life coach and also the host of several of her own programs as well. So Sasha, welcome into the program today.
Thank you for having me, Jamie.
So tell us first off a little bit about your business background. You're a business and life coach. Tell us a little bit about your background.
I come from, well, my initial practical career path comes from business. I have experience working in corporate, small, medium, and large businesses, private sector, public, global companies, and also within the continental U.S. I got my first degree in management and operations from Boston University School of Management, and then I did my MBA in global management, and I've been fortunate to apply those skills and credentials into working in business development and working for C-level executives for private companies.
Okay, so you went down the traditional corporate path at first, and then at what point or what inspired you to step out of corporate life and become an entrepreneur and make your own business decisions in your business?
Well, it kind of tied into the economic collapse from almost a decade ago. What was going on was I was working as a contractor and rebuilding myself financially. And in some of these contracts, depending on the budget season, and I remember when you do a lot of government contracting work, at times you're on call to come in, and it's contingent upon winning these government contracts, that I was doing one of these contracts on the East Coast, and I remember I was told that we would love to keep you on board, but for the summer, we'll have to put you part-time. And that's when it kind of clicked within me after being bouncing around within the corporate sector and interviewing for all types of opportunities, that I don't want to completely rely on a third party to dictate how far I go, when I get to succeed, and how much money I earn. And there's always going to be uncertainty in life, that I decided I need to come up with another form of revenue stream at that moment, and it's more about putting food on the table. And I said, what talent do I have that I haven't used in corporate? And it was the spiritual counseling. So I started providing those services on sashatalks.com. Actually, at that time, it was only a one-page website with my picture and probably one paragraph that said what I did. And I was working as an independent contractor for third-party websites. I think I was working for 5, 6 of them, up to simultaneously at that time while working that part-time opportunity. And I did not anticipate at that moment what's going to become of me 5 years from then or 8 years from then. It was more about survival at that moment. But I fell in love with it, and it picked up momentum. And there were a few people who had suggested that you should consider doing a radio show where people get to sample your spiritual readings, your spiritual counseling. And it picked up at a speed which I was not prepared for, because people are really interested in learning about themselves. And when you focus on a individual, they want to hear more. But the type of focus that I have now is that I only take serious cases where people want to explore their career path, their life path, their relationships. They want to make active changes. They're not talking about it. They're ready to take that leap of faith.
Okay, am I hearing you right in reading your bio, and that one of the ways you differentiate yourself as a coach is that you incorporate more spirituality into your consulting? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. Well, now I do, because at one point prior to SashaTalks.com, there was another version of Sasha Talks, but it was more so for government contracting, academic coaching, and consulting.
Okay.
And I wanted to merge all of those websites into one, because if people came for spiritual counseling, they still got the business person in me. And for those who came for business coaching, they still got the spiritualist in me. So they're technically getting the same person, but on two different platforms. And slowly I wanted to merge the audiences, not completely, there's an overlap, because not everybody wants to go into business. And then there are other people who still look at spirituality as it's a foreign concept. And I think it's really important for people to know who they are, how to ground themselves, how to have that inner knowing without relying too much on third parties of how they should live their life. And when you are more grounded, you have better clarity of being a better working professional, whether you're an employee, an entrepreneur, or any occupation that you want to embark upon. But it's really important to know who you are, and we at times let life get in the way and let society, our employer, our boss tell us how we should be living our life to be happy and successful.
Now, when you incorporate the values of spirituality, are these the traditional religious values of spirituality, or are these more the collective subconscious that exists on so many different levels that the human beings have not quite come to know and understand about one another? Explain to me your vision or your idea of what spirituality is and how it relates to business.
Sure. This has to do more with the collective unconscious and the mindset and working with your own energy versus the religion, because I've also given a talk where religion versus spirituality, religion is more of a dogma, it's more so of an institution, while spirituality is more fluid. There's no specific checklist to go down in order to feel validated and say, I am a good spiritualist. With religion, you could go to church, you could read the Bible, you could do the Ten Commandments. There's a whole dogma that follows with it. With spirituality, how you could apply it into your personal life and how you apply it to empower yourself, how to train your mind, how to train your thoughts. It's not only about what you put in your body, it's what you surround yourself with, who you surround yourself with, where you surround yourself with. People want quick outcomes, and they want quick progress. And the thing with spirituality is that if you work on yourself, your mindset, people in your environment will react to you. So how come there are some people who are great salespeople? Some of them are great speakers. People are great at their talents. And I also, in the process, teach people the difference between talent and skill sets. Anybody can acquire a skill set by taking a class, going to a seminar, or working as an apprentice, and you could refine it. But talent is something that we each are born with, and it's something that cannot be created. Talent can be refined. So talent is innate in each one of us, whether we acknowledge a gift. Some people have the gift of voice. Some people are great speakers. They know how to bring people together. Other people can draw. There are people who are probably functioning on many levels higher than us, where they come up with these designs and technologies.
So your consulting helps people recognize these kind of nuances that exist around us that so many of us are immune to or just don't know how to pick up upon. I am a big fan of collective subconscious talks and the world around us, because I believe it's a far more complicated place. I believe we're all interconnected in some capacity in ways we just cannot fully understand. I use the example of how many times have you walked up to somebody and met them and instantly knew you liked them or instantly knew you didn't like them. You don't really know why. They haven't done anything to sway your opinion of them, but there's some type of connection that exists between the two of you. And I refer to that as just one of the areas of what the collective subconscious is doing to us. How would you advise, Sasha?
I would say the mind is a wonderful thing, and also as you tapped upon the idea of intuition, that I want people to listen to their gut feelings more than let the mind override them at times, because people think that spirituality and business cannot coexist, that at times when people go to work, they kind of check their baggage at the door, and then they're doing everything only solely based off the mind. You don't have to be hyper emotional because sometimes being hyper emotional, people frown upon it because that's an impulsive trait. But intuition is not a bad thing. This is for men, women, children, young and old. The more we apply it, the more it gets refined. And as I agree with you, there's some people we meet, we like them, and then there's some people we meet, they might be good on the surface, but for some reason your gut does not agree with their energy. Your gut is reacting to their energy no matter how great they look on the surface, how well they speak. There's something that tells you, I should not be interacting or doing business with this person. And that kind of ties in with the tricky concept of judgment, because in the corporate world, everything is judged based off numbers. You have to make decisions based off deadlines and timelines, and we adhere to it. But with spirituality, you have to kind of abandon judgment in order to understand yourself, because part of it has to do with self-exploration. And of course, we all want to take credit for the good things in our life, but we also have to look within us and admit our shortcomings in order to work through them.
Yeah, and this is just a fascinating area of business. So don't get into this topic a whole lot because the typical business professional doesn't really understand spirituality. And I'm not talking about the religious side of spirituality. I'm talking about the collective subconscious, the multidimensional universe. There's so much out there. And it's one of my favorite things to read and study about when I'm alone and at my house. I throw up a video on physics or something like that. I am fascinated by the world around us and how we can use that, the connectivity between us to better ourselves, and it's an area of where we've got a lot of progress that can be made. And Sasha on the forefront of this with her business, Sasha Talks. She is a consultant business coach who incorporates these lessons of.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products: hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Hey everyone, Jamie Meloni back here on That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business. Having a great talk on spirituality with Sasha Legault. She's the founder of Sasha Talk. She is a business and life consultant who incorporates, again, the elements of spirituality into her coaching and consulting practices, something the typical business professional does not incorporate. They incorporate typically the processes and the procedures and the step-by-step things that you need to do to accomplish a task. Not saying that there's anything wrong with how different people consult, but this is an area where a lot of people just do not understand, and they just totally just ignore the entire business of spirituality. So Sasha, what drew you into spirituality in your consulting business, or is it just something that's always been a part of your personality?
It's always been a part of who I am. Since childhood, I was able to see things, feel things, and hear things. So this also goes into the metaphysical realm. And I always thought that other children are just like me, but I realized by my teen years that I am different than my friends. Not everybody gets to pick up on information the same way I did. There's one way of picking up information, as majority of us do, through practical means, and our mind plays a vital role in that. We also have intuition. Gut feelings, and I also happen to be clairsentient, so there's information that I sense and feel. Claircognizance means inner knowing. There are moments, and this is since childhood, where I just know certain things without having any practical means of proving it.
Yes.
It's as information has been implanted in me. It could be about people, things, circumstances, good and bad. And that's one of the burden that I carry. The greater the gift, the greater the responsibility, because if there are good things that come my way when I'm spiritual counseling, there's also unfortunate things that I am forewarned about, whether it's in my own life or for a client. And the only thing that I tell them specifically when they come for spiritual counseling is, I am the messenger, so I have to relay the messages to them unfiltered, or else I would be doing them a disservice. I can't be relaying a fairy tale just because they're paying me, because I disclose to them that if you come forward, I'm here to assist you along your path. Now, whatever you do with that information is up to them, but I cannot make those decisions in their life, whether they should leave their job, move to another country, get married. That is where accountability falls back into the individual's lap, and it doesn't matter whether they're a spiritualist or not, whether they're in corporate or not, because on a human level, we're all in the same journey, and no one is immune from learning their life lessons.
Yeah, we're all connected somehow, because the universe is multidimensional. There are higher levels of dimensions, and this is not just science fiction. This is stuff that is beginning to be understood and accepted by physicists. String theory, which is a leading theory of how the universe works, predicts that the universe is an 11-dimensional object, and we only perceive the 3 spatial dimensions and the 1 element of time. But somehow we're connected on higher levels, and as you ascend the levels of the dimensions, you'll be able to transcend time. Time becomes a spatial dimension that you can step in and out of. If you watch the movie Interstellar, or the movie with the aliens where they're communicating, Arrival, they really start to show how time is a physical dimension and how there are higher levels that we can exist and connect upon. And certain people, I believe, are able to tap into these dimensions, and I have this belief and this theory that this sixth sense, so to speak, was probably much more prevalent in earlier man, but earlier man was very scared of anything that they didn't understand, and so people that exhibited that type of skill set were probably perceived as witches, as devils, and were probably killed off, thus killing that gene or that line. That's just one of my personal theories, personal beliefs, and thus weakening that line and that sense of being able to pick up on those higher dimensions. How would you respond, or how would you respond to that, Sasha?
Sorry, I noticed that part of what you said just dropped. If you don't mind repeating again.
What I'm saying is that we all are connected on these higher levels, and that we don't fully understand, or as man, we all don't understand these things. And if we don't understand something, we are fearful of it. And so when man was a younger, in our evolution, the people that exhibited the the abilities to pick up on higher levels of thinking, the sixth sense, were probably perceived as witches and as devils or demons.
Oh, yes.
And were probably killed, thus killing off that gene line and thus weakening us as a species. How would you respond?
I would say that that type of stigma, it doesn't exist to the degree that it initially did, but it still is prevalent because there are times where people come from various religions or various cultures where seeking spiritual counseling, more so specifically in the field of metaphysical readings, is frowned upon because it is quote-unquote ungodly. You should be relying on yourself and your higher power, your creator, not going to another person who may have the ability to pull messages. And of course, my disclaimer would be that if you do go seek a reading, do your due diligence just as any occupation. If you were to go to a doctor, you would look up the doctor and understand how qualified they are and what type of work they do, because in every occupation there's those that are competent and then there are those that are just starting out or those that engage in malpractice. But in the metaphysical realm, it ties into the entertainment realm. And scientifically, it cannot be proven. And according to law, when you dispense those services, you have to disclose that it's for entertainment purposes only. But going back to the stigma of going to quote-unquote a reader, it still exists because now and then I have some clients who come privately and they say, well, nobody in my family knows that I go seek readings because it is considered quote-unquote ungodly or a sin, or it's frowned upon because it's not what would be considered practical. You're not going to a book for an answer. You're not calling a doctor who went to medical school for an answer. You're going to someone. Those type of gifts, not all of them, you could be tested for them. I've been tested for them just for the sake of being tested. But majority of people who initially have the gift, either they apply them, refine them, and share them with people, or they're not up to par. So it's kind of reaching into a grab bag and not knowing what you're getting. So there has to be caution taken on both ends. For example, I as a professional do not dispense services to anybody who's ready to pay me. I screen them to know that they are of fair and sound mind enough to benefit from it.
I was going to ask, how receptive are your clients when you start to introduce these elements of the metaphysical, the higher dimensions, the collective subconscious? How receptive are people, or do they come to you knowing that you're a spiritualist, or is it that you go to them and then you have to introduce them to that?
Well, I don't go down the street yelling that this is who I am, come and get some like the ice cream truck. For majority of people who come for the spiritual counseling, they have found me through word of mouth, which is typically through a client who has experienced my work and they feel that it's worthy of getting to know me or referring a friend or someone they know, or the shows, or through some of my online speaking engagements. So people seek me out for the spiritual counseling. Now, for the business portion, more people outside of the cyberspace know me as a corporate person. So if they seek me out, it's usually through business, and then if we segue into spirituality or finding new techniques and ways of tapping into bringing out the best in people, that's a whole nother segue. But typically for the spiritual readings, people seek me out on their own. Let me put it this way, I don't go out marketing that stuff because it's out there. Either people will know me or they'll find me.
People know you from Sasha Talks. Now tell me about your programs. You've hosted a number of different programs through the year, Sasha Talks. Now tell us a little bit about your program, where it's available, and what people get from it.
Yes, Sasha Talks on BBS Radio started out back in 2012, and I started out with a very conservative level of segments talking about spirituality, and I focused on that topic for about 2-3 years, different aspects of it, of how to cleanse your life energetically, working on your mind, on your body, how to manifest goals in your life. And it has progressed to more practical topics that have to do with money, career, managing relationships. And my other one is Moving Mountains with Sasha, where I invite talent to pitch themselves. So there are authors, CEOs, executives out there who are producing initiatives, but they're for a greater cause.
Now, is the show available on as a podcast? Where are some places where people can pick this up? I myself would like to listen to this on a regular basis as well.
Yes, Sasha Talks is available on BBS Radio, iTunes, and it flows into other directories. And Moving Mountains with Sasha is available through Podbean, and that pulls into 17 to 20 directories as of the last 9 months.
All right. Well, a good discussion. I love talking about spirituality and collective subconscious because there's just so much out there that we don't understand, and we might have probably lost a few people. My audience is not on the spiritual level. A lot of people don't even know that side of me, as I'm a very just well-known business professional. But I enjoy studying, physics. I started out as a chemistry biology student in college. Thought I was going to be a virologist, but the sciences and astronomy are where my real love is. It's just there's not a lot of money in that, unfortunately. It's something something that maybe I was born a little bit too early. Sasha, what do you think? We were born a little bit too early?
I would say it's never too late, but I completely understand about the money aspect of it. I've taken astrology classes, only I wasn't disciplined enough to stay up through them.
Well, we got to wrap up the show. So Sasha Legault, founder and host of Sasha Talks. They can learn more about this at sashatalks.com. So we thank you so much for being on the show today. A great discussion.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And you can learn more about her again at sashatalks.com and also more about this program at tampabayradio.com. All of our shows are available on demand on iTunes as well as on YouTube. Just go to thatyoutubechannel.com and you can catch the new episodes each and every weekday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on tampabayradio.com, and also live video streamed over on the YouTube channel as well. And again, if you're in the Tampa Bay real estate market, keep in mind we got a great network of business professionals. We'd like to invite you out to one of our next events. Just go to tbbo.org to learn more about that. You've been listening to That Business Show 2.0, where business becomes show business.